So the reason I'm putting this presentation together, people that follow me on Facebook, and I don't believe you guys follow me, obviously, but that I've created an online presence for myself. I've created a brand, and I've been getting asked a few questions about that. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and just put a short presentation together, share what I've been doing,
Okay.
and the tips that I'm sharing basically with you guys is basically what I've been implementing in my business. So this is 10 simple personal branding tips that'll work for you. It's been working for me, so you can use the exact same thing, or you can ignore it all. It's up to you. So a little bit about myself. I do play professional basketball.
Hey, look at who's famous.
Uh,
All right.
I'm a network marketer. That's my industry. That's my niche. And I get into that a little bit more here in the presentation. I'm also a coach in the training industry, so I do presentations like this, and I help people in their business where they hit those walls and those ups and downs. So
Yeah.
I try to give them a third party eye on it sometimes.
Right.
Who do you play for?
This was when I was in Australia. So
Oh, okay.
so I've played around the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then MLSP, I'm a L3 leader inside the community MLSP. And MLSP, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit, but it's basically an online community for entrepreneurs that want to build their business online. So people who are looking to go online and build their business, or are struggling to build online own business. It started first in the network marketing industry, but it ended up growing to business owners and small business and business owners who are looking to get more exposure for the business. We teach that inside the community. So I'm just going to get right into the training. So I said I was going to share with you 10 tips. This is tip number 1. It's brand your personal name. And this is very important, especially in my industry. Your brand should always be your name. Especially I'm gonna speak in my niche, and then you can kind of use my ideas and whatever your niche as well. But in my niche, when people join a company, most companies are really, really good, but they always want to attach that company to their name, so they could say Joe Smith XYZ, network marketing company. We got the best products or something like that. I don't suggest that. I suggest using your name. A few reasons why is that you're more secure than your company. There's always a lot of people who are changing companies. Every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, whatever. So that makes you more secure than the company, because some companies don't last past the 2-year mark, but some do. But so people want to put the company first, and then put their name and their brand second. I suggest that you put yourself first, and then tell them about your business or your company, because people do business who they know, like, and trust. It's not more about the company. It's about the person. Yeah, exactly. So the things will always change. I just kind of went into that. Things will always change as far as a company might go out of business, or the upline that sponsored you wanted to go to another company and left you high and dry. So things always change, but you won't. So I'll give you an example. So people who start building their company on Facebook, for example, they'll have XYZ company, Joe Smith, and they'll do all this work for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. They'll build an audience. After they build an audience and they want to change company, then they have all this audience that they have, and they're like, hold on, guys, we're going here now. And then you don't want to confuse your audience. But if you keep your name, if you brand your name, brand yourself, then it doesn't really matter, because it's always going to be unique. It's not about the company, it's unique. This is just a network marketing business, supposed to be a pillar inside your business, if that makes sense. So 2, know your target audience. This is, highly, highly important, because, marketing 101 is that when you're trying to market to everyone, you're marketing to no one. So you really got to know your target audience, and it's more simple online than it is offline. Offline, you have to do a lot of prospecting. So you got to go out there, ask a lot of questions, talk to people, engage with people, see what their wants, needs, and desires are. Online, if you know your target market, it makes it a lot simple, because what ends up happening is that people are already searching. They've typed it into Google, they type it into Facebook. So if you find those people who are already typing whatever it is in your industry, you're going to find them. So say for example, there's somebody say there's my upline has left. What do I do? So one, I could create content around that, because that's happened to me. But two, if it since it's happened to me, I can use that content to help somebody else that's out there who's struggling when their upline left. But the thing is that if you don't know who you're marketing to, then you're going to be lost in your marketing, because a lot of people just want to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. And that's not the way marketing works. You got to have a specific niche, a specific audience of who you're marketing to. So everything that everything your brand, your market, or you should sell should revolve around your target audience. So, and I think this is where a lot of people get it confused too. So, once I'm building my list of network marketers, I can sell them network marketing products, and I'm not just talking about network marketing company products. I'm talking about information products as well. So if somebody is struggling to recruit somebody, I can sell them a product. If somebody wants to take their business online, I can sell them that. If somebody wants to start a blog, I can sell them that. But it's always the same thing that I'm selling them. I'm not selling them. I'm not going to sell them okay, here's some information on recruiting, but also I'm selling organic dog food as well. I'm confusing my audience, and then they're like, why are you confusing me? I'm going to go somewhere else. So I have an audience that I'm already providing value to, so I can just go ahead and sell them what I want to sell them, and actually what they're looking for, instead of trying to sell them something that is not even in the industry or in the niche. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you turn them off with all that other stuff.
Yeah, and I'll get into that too here pretty soon in the presentation.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, but it's true though. It's true. It's definitely true.
Yeah.
And your content, I gave you an example, but your content has to be based on your brand. So. I touched on it a little bit, but the content that you create, the value that you're putting out there into the market, it has to be that the brand that you are creating. I'll get into it later. So, be super specific with your tagline and your slogans. I put a couple of those companies up there. Sorry about Kodak's not around anymore. They got wiped out, but but all the other ones, they have taglines. So your tagline should grab the attention of your audience. It has to be based around what it is that you're selling. So for example, for me, it's like I help network marketers get leads, sales, and help them talk to more people and recruit more people into their business. See, I'm talking to a specific niche. So a tagline that you have to have is something that's going to grab the attention of your target audience. Speak their language. I just gave you an example, but speak the language of your target market. And with a little research, it's fairly simple. A lot of people like, what is it that my audience wants? It's like, well, if you're paying attention, they're telling you. So if once they're telling you, you can speak their language. And it's going to help. It'll definitely help you in your business. Ask yourself, why would they want to listen to you? Stay on your blog, your video, or your content. I just touched on that, but if you answer that question and you create content around that, it makes it very, very simple. So if I'm doing a video about somebody who is scared to do videos. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But if somebody's like, why would I create a video? One is that, I don't know what they're talking about. And two is that, why would they listen to me? That's basically the top two reasons why people don't make videos, because, they don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, why would somebody listen to me? And if you kind of take yourself out of it and more think about them than yourself, then it comes a lot simpler. But if I create a video about that, saying like, hey, here's a solution to that problem, then especially because everybody knows with Facebook Live now, Periscope, and I think YouTube has a YouTube Live now, that video is the way to go as far as building your business, building your brand. So, but people are like, well, I don't want to, step out because, what am I supposed to say? And why are they going to listen to me? You take yourself out of it and focus on them, focus on what your brand is, helping them, and it makes it a lot simpler. And tell them what they are going to get, and it will make their life better. And that's basically, it's very simple. If you want to, you just give them the solution to their problem. So, when you tell them, like, okay, this is a result, this is your problem. This is the result I have. This is the solution is your product. Does that make sense? So if you keep it that simple, then all this stuff is really, really easy. So tip number 4: have professional looking yet fun pictures of yourself. Nobody. Nobody. Oh, yeah, that's actually me. I was at the Final Four. On Facebook and YouTube, whatever, people are. They're following. They're looking at your journey. People. You never know whose people's eyes are on you. Some people's like, man, my life is boring, and I just tell them, well, do more cool stuff. I mean, you can't. That's something that you can control. Go out there and go to the park, play with your dog. Play with your kids. Because you would start attracting people. And I get that to a little late because I get more in detail on that on another section. But if you have professional pictures, just have some friends take pictures, and if you have the budget for it, then hire a professional, and then you can if you hire a professional, you can use those professional pictures in all your branding. So I mean,
you can tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference. Well, close. Yeah, well, you can't tell the difference. You definitely can tell the difference, but if you have friends take it, like on your iPhone or something like that, and you still share those out there, then at least you're still branding you.
Yeah.
But once it's steps. I mean, you don't have to go out tomorrow. I know you say you launch your business. You don't have to go out tomorrow and start go get professional pictures if it's not in your budget. You can start have some friends take some pictures and use those pictures that are going to actually help you promote your business. And then when the time is right, then you can go out there and hire professionals. Because I think a lot of the time, and I do talk about it in a couple slides. A lot of times people want to have the professional pictures first, and they think that's going to attract more people, and that's not the case. You just need to get out there and start building your brand. And it helps you stand out for the crowd and you become a credible figure. The things that you see people online doing that you're not doing is basically as far as building your brand is because a lot of people on Facebook. Now I talk to a lot of people on Facebook, and they think that there's these Facebook trolls, and they I don't want to put myself out there because people are going to Facebook troll me. But you can control what you put on Facebook. You can control what you put online. So if you're building your brand, you can control what it is that you're actually putting out there. So those Facebook trolls are not going to be trolling you if you are putting the right information that you want on. If you're building your brand. Now don't get me wrong. You will get. Nobody's immune to it. You will get haters. You will get people who will make comments, but you just ignore it. You got to focus on your audience and not those people.
Yeah.
So. Tip number 5. I think this is tip number 5. So, what do you want to be known for? I put this picture right here. Don't be the jack of all trades. You've heard the old quote, "Jack of all trades is master of none," and that's really, really true. I remember So my business coach that I actually hired when he started his company, he first started his network marketing company. He told me that he didn't want to be the jack of all trades because he tried to do that in the beginning, and people were like, "Okay, what is it that you do?" It's like the guy with the coat on in New York, where he's like, I'm selling these wristwatches and necklaces. Over here I got rings and diamonds, and so they're like, okay, what is it that you're selling? What is it that you do? So you don't want to be the jack of all trades. You want to be really specific of what your brand is, because it will hurt your brand. Because people will ask, all right, what is it that you do? Yesterday you were selling health and wellness, and now you're in travel, and now you're selling coffee, and now you own the Starbucks. Like, what is it that you do? So you want to be really specific in your brand of what it is that you're actually selling. And doing too many things will be overwhelming. I mean, that's the life of an entrepreneur is, they have the shiny object syndrome, where people, there's like, oh, I can do that too, or I can do that, or I can do that. You want to be really focused. You don't want to get overwhelmed unless you have a coach in there or accountability partner. You really don't want to do too many things at once. And pick one or two things that you're good at, and that you're good at right now, or you want to be an expert in. And for example, with me, I have my network marketing company, and I have MLSP. Now, MLSP helps you get leads for your network marketing business, but it doesn't distract me from building my network marketing company. So you want to make sure that if you are in the, say, you said wedding, so yeah,
Wedding and events.
the wedding and events plan. So you can do weddings and then focus on that, but maybe side you may want to do flowers or something like that, or floral arrangement. So it's still in the same industry, still in the same space. So you don't want to you won't confuse your audience. So if you're saying, okay, I'm doing weddings, but also I'm doing nightclub events, it's night and day. It's not you're gonna confuse your audience. And here's a resource for that. You can go to askjwarren.com/3M 3MIN for 3 minute. It's basically teaches it's a course that will teach you how to be an expert. Basically a course that will teach you how to be an authority online. That's what it is. So what you want to be known for. So number 6. So your story, be the expert. So you got to understand that your experience it makes you an expert for your story immediately. So because nobody is living your story better than you, right? So and this can help you. People think that because I think a lot of times people think when you're vulnerable and when you're weak. That's $20, by the way. That's what we do when people are phone ringing.
He just bought us a pizza.
Oh, okay, yeah, he owes us a pizza. I'm hungry actually. When you said that. But people think that if you tell your story, that it makes you weak. It makes you weaker.
Good. Welcome to your toast.
That's okay. It makes you weak, or it makes you. But you want to be vulnerable with your storytelling, because the thing is that what ends up happening is that you can end up relating. Your story can end up relating to somebody that has been through it. So when you're asking questions, or you're going through that problem or the solution, you're going through that problem and you already handled it, then your story is going to actually help that other person. So when you're launching your business, the ups and downs that you're going to go through, you start having that data that maybe the next person who wants to launch a business, then you can share your story, like, hey, this is the struggle I went through, this is how I handled it. So the next person that you actually speak to about it, they're like, oh, okay, I'm not the only person that's going through this. So then you have a connection there, and you start to relate with people. You put that inside. Your expertise will help the next person while they're on their journey. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And yeah, I say that too. And your story relates to your target. So if you're targeting, if you've done the right targeting with if you know your audience and you know what they go through, when you start sharing those stories, it's going to be very very simple for people to relate to you. And if you don't have a story, and I mentioned this earlier, but if you don't have a story, go create one. A lot of people are waiting, for stuff to happen to them. You gotta go make things happen. You gotta go out there and, start doing, fun stuff. Start getting those experiences so you can share it with the next person, your next pupil. So being yourself. So the mistake most people make when they go online is that they think they have to be perfect. And so I used this story in a last presentation, but it took me 6 months to build my first website. And I had no website experience. I didn't know what all those codes are, blah blah blah, whatever. And I still don't, But it took, but the reason why it took me so, and on top of that, it still took me a while to launch until I basically, talked to a mentor of mine. He was just like, hey, this is what he basically told me. He's like, 1.0 is better than 0.0. So you get it out there, and then you just grow it over time.
As it goes.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I talk to people all the time who want to wait till it's like, all right, wait, this design has to be right. Wait, the wording has to be right. Wait, I need to add another page. Wait, I need to add another plugin, and they never launch it, and they're just in this standstill mode, and time keeps on going, but they haven't launched their blog yet, or they haven't launched their website, or they haven't launched their brand. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there. And get it out there, and then start, because over time you're going to change, you're going to evolve. So you just take your brand; it's going to evolve with you. Does that make sense?
It does. I get so afraid when it comes to, because I am such not tech savvy.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me. It's just practice and getting into it. For example, my first presentation for school was to plan a wedding, which is no big deal. I mean, I can plan it with my eyes closed. It was the technology. I was using Prezi for the first time, and it was okay. How am I going to get these pictures from Pinterest to a form where on my computer where I can pull out the pictures and put it into a Prezi presentation, and it's taken me so long to do that. But now that I've started it, I'm making progress. I should have it done by tomorrow.
Well, I think, really quick on that, if you if you go to YouTube and just have a video, they have tutorials on basically how to set it up. So that'll catch your time in half. So because a lot of people YouTube is obviously a great resource.
Yeah.
But I also suggest courses. So if there's somebody that has a course on how to use something, like how to basically go from A to Z and step by step, I always say I highly suggest to get the course. If it's $300, because it's going to save you money in the long run. So because a lot of people are like, well, I don't really have $300, blah blah blah. Like it's like okay, and then this is a mistake I made with my blog because after that 6 months. I found out I could have just hired somebody out to set it up for like $50.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, that's just a tip right there. And and I said that. So people will resonate you. People will resonate with you when you Is that what I said? Yeah. People will resonate with you. For you. So if you are, I wrote that down wrong. But but when you're being yourself, the people are going to just resonate with you. They're going to resonate. They're going like, Anna, she's a web planner, and she shared her struggles, and now she's doing this, and and this is what I want to do now. So people are going to just resonate with you.
Yeah.
And then share your lifestyle. This is me right here. I'm in the Philippines. Basically working. So just share your lifestyle, share your journey with people. That just be yourself. You don't have to. I'm not saying be. Share all your personal business, but you can be transparent and be open, and that's what people are going to resonate. People want real.
They identify with you better.
Yeah. So this is number 7 or 8. I think it's 7. It might be 8. So be consistent. I love this quote right here. Results come over time, not overnight. a lot of time, people in my industry, they want overnight result, and I mean, a lot of people want overnight result because the example I always use, the analogy I always use is that we can go to a fast food and get food in 90 seconds or 2 minutes, and but so people think that you building the business the exact same way. That's just obviously that's not the case. That's not the case at all. People are going broke trying to get rich fast because they just keep on pouring money into think that this think that's going to click a button, it's going to get rich. Like that's not how it works. You got to be consistent. And brands aren't built overnight. I mean that's the thing. Like when I first started my business, people had it was a career change, and then two, it's just like I went from being this basketball player to this professional network marketer, but people didn't see me as a network marketer, so I had to build it. And now people know me as a network marketer. It's like, oh, okay, and so they come to my blog, they come to my videos, they watch my videos, they ask me questions, they hire me because I built that over time. But in the beginning, it wasn't like that because they see me as another brand. So if you're gonna, but you got to be consistent. Rather with just taking a step a day. A lot of times people think that you have to put all this time in one day to build your business. You just take if you take one step each day, take another step and take another step. When you look over time, you're gonna be like, wow. You're gonna look like I came. So you're not gonna look at like I still got far ways to go. You're like, man, I came so far. So, but consistency is what's gonna take to build your brand. And constant action is what builds your brand. So just taking that, and I said the step-by-step thing, but taking action every single day is what's going to build your brand. People who will see your content all over the internet. So, I'm a firm believer in providing content to my marketplace so I can attract more people, and that's how I basically build my brand. A lot of times, people think that you need the fancy website, fancy business cards, the fancy card. You don't need all that. If you're trying to build your brand, your content will help you build a brand. So you just need to provide content to your audience, and when you provide content to your audience, that's going to build your brand because you're providing value to them, to that marketplace, and they're going to want to hire you and stuff like that. That makes sense? Yeah. And it'll help build your brand. So get out there. So make sure your brand is everywhere where your audience hangs out. So this picture right here is actually me doing a interview here it's here in Dallas, and I was there. They did an interview with me, and I was talking about my network marketing company. So, but I seen their event, and then I reached out to them again. And then they invited me on the radio show to talk about my network marketing company. So, but I share that story with you because it's just about getting out there, talking to people, and then you just never know what the opportunity is going to bring to you. So, get your brand out there, start talking to people, let them know what you're doing, and even if they say no, they still can connect, maybe able to connect you with the right people who are looking for it. But get out there and hang out. So and I said earlier with the floral thing. So I guess let me ask you, like, where do wedding event planners, where do they hang out?
Actually, I found out about this place. It's called Thursday Therapy. It's in I have it in my book. I was told about, and it's this place that anybody in the wedding, all the vendors, photographers, DJs, people that do lighting, florists, they all kind of just mingle. It's like a cocktail hour. Everybody brings their business cards and they just get to talking, and it's through word of mouth and them spreading information. That's one of the places. There's bridal expos. There is the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cool. So wherever. And I think a lot of people struggle with this too, like getting out there because they don't they just don't know where to hang out. You know, they just like, okay, I'm gonna go everywhere. You know, go where your target market hangs out, and then you can get the information, and then you get that data, and you can actually start helping them. So different social media platforms. So when you get it out there, you know, in the beginning, I always say focus on one. But you know, once you mastered one, then you know you start using you start leveraging those other social media platforms to start building your brand. You know, you want to get your brand out there so people see you on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. You know, whatever it is, it's gonna take a while, but you know, but you want to get your brand on all the different social media platforms. The more people see you, the more they start to recognize your brand and trust you. So, you know, over time, you know, when people start seeing your content, they start seeing your pictures, and they start seeing your work and what you're doing, then they're going to be like, okay, who is this person? You know, that's, you know, you know, there was a woman who, she reached out to me, and she's like, I see your videos all over the internet. You know, what is it that you do? You know, I see you everywhere. You know, what is it you do? So, you know, but that, you know, obviously that wouldn't happen in the first month, or it wouldn't happen if I quit. You know, but when, you know, now that I have my videos out there and I have my brand out there, people start to know, like, and trust me now. So they recognize my brand. So, you know, if I decide to reach out to them, or I try to sell them something, it's not a stranger selling me anything, since they know me. It's my brand. And here's another resource right here. So this is if you go to askjwarren.com / this SM Stardom, which is social media stardom. What happens is that you know, they'll set up all your social media platforms for you. Yes, your blog and everything. So, hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you, Rudy? How are you?
You can sit here. Because no one sees you right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was number 9. So here's number 10. So think long term. I put this picture up there, and this is a picture that's on my in the event and on my Facebook page. But I put this picture up there because before that happened, I had visioned myself being on stage accepting that award.
Wow.
So you have to have a long-term goal. You have to see yourself there before it's happening. A lot of times, I hear people all the time saying, like, well, when this happens, then I'll start doing that. That's just not how it works. So you have to see yourself, you know, already doing it. So when it happens, then you're like, oh, you know, because you can manifest anything that you want. But a lot of people's like, well, you know, if I had $1 million, then, you know, I would do this, this, and this. It's like, well, act like you got $1 million. Do it now. So when you have it, then, you know, nothing has changed. But you have to have a vision of what your brand wants to be. You know, so if you want your brand to impact more people, that's fine. If you want your brand to, you know, help charities, build charities, that's fine. But whatever your brand is, you know, make sure you focus on that. Have a vision of what your brand's going to be and how you're going to build it.
You know, it's funny because our last project for the class is that you have to have a grand opening for your brand. So it's kind of getting us to think in that mindset,
Yeah.
and plan it out so, you know, that you see what your end results are, because that's the project. You have to present your business to the world.
If you create a vision board, so there's a vision board. I have it on my computer and I have it at my house. But I've created a book. So if you create a vision board, that can definitely help you while you're building your brand too. Because, you know, say, you know, this is, you know, and so say for example, like I'll buy like a GQ magazine. I'll buy a Home and Garden magazine. And, you know, I'll see houses, or buy a travel magazine, the places I want to go. So I'll cut out the places I want to go. You know, I'll also write it down. So then, you know, I put it in the board, and then all of a sudden, you know, I say all of a sudden, but what has happened is that, you know, so say for example, last year I was in the Philippines. I wrote it down probably like 5 years ago. I had no idea how I was going to get to the Philippines. No clue. if I end up getting there. But I wrote it down and I visioned myself being there. So if you take pictures, create a vision board, look at it every single day. You don't have to know how you're going to do it. You just know that you're going to get there. It'll start manifesting over time.
I've got a 3-inch binder.
There you go.
Yeah, she has her vision.
There's one woman. She has a whole wall. She had, she cut out, pictures of her and what she wants to do, and she has a whole wall and stuff like that. She showed it to me. It's pretty cool. Brands are not built overnight. I basically harped on that earlier, but if you're going to build your brand, it's going to take time. I know we live in this overnight society where you get your food. I can call, touch an app, and 10 minutes later, food will be at my door. Brands don't work like that. Businesses don't work like that. It's going to take some time to build. And it's simple. Make a decision that you're going to make it happen. A lot of times, the decision and the commitment of just So I'll give you an example. So when I had an accountability session with one of my coaches, my business coach, he was asking me questions, and one thing, after all that, he assessed. He's like, Jay, you said you're only dipping your toe in the water right now. He said if you want more success, you got to just jump in. You got to take the leap, and because by just dipping your toe, you're not gonna learn to swim. And it made a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So and he just says just basically just make a decision, make a commitment, and then just
Go for it.
go from there. So you just have to make a decision that you're going to make it happen.